So it's a pleasure to be hosting you all. This is the third in a series where we catch up with important operators in the senior living sector to see what's going on. And of course, right now, it's an interesting time. If I may start with you, Gary.
Things have certainly picked up, which is great news. We planned a lot of marketing that we've been sort of doing online during lockdown. Was more about keeping people sort of entertained at home and making sure people are okay and engaged and that kind of thing. Whereas obviously since lockdown's gone, we've managed to do a lot more sort of direct marketing, and as a result, the visits or the visit levels have increased dramatically. So we are sort of back on track for where we were sort of March in the year, which is really good news, sales wise as well. But certainly the people that are visiting, we're finding there's a definite trend, which is that they are certainly very keen to look at doing something.
Kelly, how is the picture at McCarthy and Stone?
We're seeing some really optimistic trends. I think I would echo the comments made there that we're also seeing more committed buyers as well. And I think we've just got to, I suppose, stay vigilant and keep the safety and the well-being of our homeowners and prospective customers as the number one focus and priority, really.
What we're now calling the urban sort of market, as it were, represented by Carson here at Riverstone, which is an exciting new luxury entrant into the London market.
I guess, like some other bits of the London market where it's even earlier days in the sector, particularly the independent living sector, than it is away from London and slightly more regionally. We've built times, a year and a half for us until we open the doors that allow people to engage as they wish. We're ready for technology, lovely to be meeting in person, but at least we can do both, and that has to be good for everyone.
Simon, moving over to you.
We're testing our staff every 7 days. So if something happens, we pick it up straight away. We're testing our residents every 2 to 4 weeks. At the moment, we're looking for solutions. We're building 6 sites at the moment in and around London. So we're working with our investors to see actually how we future-proof those homes as well with some of the learnings.
I can't say necessarily there's a definite shift to countryside. I know a lot of people are talking about getting out of cities.
If I think about my part exchange portfolio, I think we remain unchanged in our approach to part exchange, I suppose, which is that we assess local market conditions at the time. We look at each property in its own merit, and so far I'm not sure that I am seeing a massive swing that way. But
on the flip side, Carson, I think it's interesting because you've got agents such as Dexter's and Savills who are reporting that prime London is actually the busiest it's been for over 5 years.
It's evidently the case that, yes, there's more traction and more activity there. There are, in this sector in London, in the independent living sector, in the assisted living sector, around about 900 flats and apartments that are for sale. Most of those are under construction as opposed to being finished. So far, the demand, not just for us, but for some other operators, actually seems to be a little bit stronger than it probably was 6, 8, 10 months ago. And the demand for most of our things remains from people who live in London and have been here for quite some time.
Are you seeing perhaps the target demographic shift?
The average age of sort of our clients, I would have said, was early 80s. It is now down on some of our villages to 70, 71, and that's an average. So there's a lot more 60-year-olds looking at this kind of thing for various reasons. It could be a health reason, of course, but it creates a need. But actually, what we build creates a want in people to actually move and start something different. A lot of it is certainly word of mouth. But yeah, I mean, internet advertising has become more important probably to us over this lockdown period, and will now, has resulted in our entire marketing department being restructured to focus more on the digital aspect.
I mean, the bit I think I and we have noted is that 6, 8 months ago, a lot of people of the age with whom we have the pleasure of speaking would have been kind of fearful that this sort of interaction, anything much digital, was almost undermining relationships and meetings and getting to know one another and coming to see places. And actually a lot of those people have enjoyed the fact that it's an enhancement to a relationship rather than a distraction. Importantly, if people would like digital, that we're able to use it. And if people would like a brochure or like to read an advert in a Sunday newspaper, that we can do that too.
I saw that you did an extremely popular Facebook Live competition with Jane Devonshire from MasterChef recently. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Created a lot of buzz around the care homes. We had over 1 million hits.
Wow.
Through social and through our website. People viewing, feel good in the homes, a bit of interaction. And again, that feel good lasted for weeks thereafter.
Are you looking at expats returning from home?
We've spoken to people who are British passport holders but don't live most of the time in the UK, but would like to actually move back to be here a lot of the time. We've spoken to some people who have been overseas and stuck overseas in the short term. And then the other bit is where there have been people who whose parents are here, but they themselves are living overseas.
From the part exchange point of view, obviously you're head of National PX and McCarthy and Stone, running, if I may say so, a rather large book of residential properties.
We know part exchange, however it comes, is a key benefit to us and to our customers. And there are pros and cons to part exchanging on and off the book. I mean, our on-book facility gives us, arguably more flexibility to give strong part exchange offers and to manage the customer journey a lot closer and to be more flexible with it, I guess. But of course, when we go off book, it frees up our balance sheet to continue investing money in buying more land, building our developments, which is primarily what our funding facility is there for. As long as our off-book part exchange proposition makes commercial sense and enables us to make a fair offer to the customer, then we are very, very keen to do it. And I think you guys, have certainly been seeing a lot more business from us over the last few months, and we really hope that continues.
Are you seeing an increase in the percentage of part exchange as a portion of your overall sales in today's market?
I think we've been running at quite a steady rate over the last year or so. It's been quite a big shift towards part exchange, and I think now more than ever it's going to be really important. A lot of our customers haven't moved for many years and really don't want the hassle and the uncertainty that comes with selling on the open market.
We have to get through this, and we will get through this. And I think if we're going to take a lot of the positives out of what has happened today and what's been a very, very negative year, it's forced companies, across the world to start rethinking what they do, to get more efficient, to do a better job and to do more. So in our industry, who'd have thought we'd be doing virtual Pilates sessions or, group fitness classes from people's balconies? It's proven to everyone, hopefully, that we can do more. We need to just get creative.
Led sort of independent living conversation, or it's much more need driven now or in times to come. Choice has to be the best thing, and the more we're able to promote the positives of that, then broadly speaking, the better.
Great, thank you, Carson. Great to hear so much enthusiasm around the table.